Hey everyone, welcome back to today's video. Today's video we're gonna start by assembling the radiator for the AE86 model car, which as you can see consists of the backplate, the upper and lower radiator covers, the fan shroud and the lid for the reservoir. The assembly is pretty easy, you just put the parts together, they fit very snugly and evenly together. Putting in 4 screws and basically the main part of the radiator is complete. Now I'm installing the radiator cap. Notice the very fine details and print on top of the cap. And now the fan shroud. The fan shroud is attached by 4 screws, and after installing these, the radiator is basically complete. With the radiator finished, let's move on to the next part. Next up I want to start assembly of the interior, starting with the dashboard. Notice the very fine details of the dashboard as well as the excellent material choice. The material of the dashboard is some brown color in a very matte color, which looks and feels pretty much like the original AE86 dashboard. I am honestly very impressed by the quality of the dash. I'm gonna start by assembling the front cover that houses the switches for the wipers and the headlights. Have a look at the very beautiful and fine details on the buttons and the white prints. Next up I'm gonna install the instrument cluster. This model kit comes with a digital instrument cluster, and as you can see it's semi-translucent because there's a backlight illumination that I'm gonna putting in right now. Behind the backlight illumination goes this little metal tub, which is used to prevent any light from leaking out to the backside, so that you don't see any light shining through some gaps or anything. Tightening 2 screws and basically the dashboard is pretty much complete. Next up, the bottom part of the dashboard, where we first have to install the brown covers, same as the initial D AE86. This Hachiroko model features the brown interior. And again, I'm super impressed by the quality of the plastic parts. It's a bit hard to show it on the pictures, but they really feel and look like the original thing. The heater control on the center console are like basically a sticker which is printed out, and you just have to carefully place it at the right position without scratching it. The details on the sticker are pretty good. It's much better than what you see here on the picture. I'm sorry that my camera cannot really catch these fine details. Same goes for the radio, which also comes with a very nice and fine and very detailed sticker. You might notice that I skipped the installation of the ashtray and the cigarette lighter. I thought that's nothing too special, so next up we're gonna install the left and right sides of the center console. A screw on each side, and then the side plates are fully assembled. Before I can install the center console, I still have to install one last piece of the brown interior decoration for the bottom part of the dashboard. So I'm just quickly putting that one last screw in place, and now I can install that center console. Flipping it over, the center console is held in place by just 3 screws. Yeah, and with that the bottom part of the dashboard is pretty much complete. We can now continue by putting the bottom and the upper part of the dashboard back together. As expected from a Japanese model car kit, these parts fit together perfectly. There is no gap in between, there is no fitting problems. These parts fit absolutely perfectly, and it just shows the craftsmanship and the attention to detail that went into building this kit. Again, it's really hard to cover this on the picture, but the dashboard looks super realistic. The final part of the dashboard is gonna be the steering wheel and the steering column, as well as the upper and lower cover of the hazard switch and the indicator. I'm gonna start by installing the indicator switch and then putting the steering column inside the assembly. Inside these covers, the steering column can spin freely, so that way when you later install the steering wheel and connect this steering shaft to the steering rack, you are able to actually turn the wheels by turning the steering wheel. Notice the slight flattened part on the end of the steering shaft, which connects and interlocks with the steering wheel so that they form basically one unit after installing the screw. Last up, I have to put in the horn button, and then the steering wheel and steering column is complete and can be installed into the dashboard. The steering rack is held by 2 screws, and after tightening these, the dashboard assembly and steering wheel and steering column is basically completed. If you prefer your AE86 to look a little bit modified, DeAgostini has something for you. For like a few hundred yens extra per week, they will send you occasionally some additional tuning parts. This month they've sent me like a Momo style steering wheel. However, I prefer the look of the factory Toyota steering wheel, so I'm not gonna install it. Other tuning parts include like raised bucket seats, a carbon fiber style bonnet, or fog lights. While I do prefer the factory look of the AE86, let me quickly show you some of these tuning parts and how they look like. First up here we have the carbon fiber bonnet that you can put in place of the factory white bonnet, and again representative for this entire AE86 model car kit, the details are simply amazing. Like the material of the bonnet feels like real carbon fiber and looks just amazing. It's a shame I'm not gonna put this on, but maybe I'll keep it in a drawer for the future if I change my mind. Also included in this kit is the rear wing, which is placed on top of the rear hatch, and some more sporty looking exhaust muffler. Another part of this tuning kits are like racing bucket seats as shown over here. You can, instead of the factory seats, install these bucket seats for passenger and driver side. Yeah, again, I'm not a big fan of these. I prefer the factory interior. I also feel that the factory interior looks a little bit nicer on this model kit. As usual, thanks for watching. In the next video we're gonna proceed with the assembly of the interior parts, the floor pan and the factory seats. Thanks for watching.